Hi everyone. We're looking at learning how to teach learning skills. We're going to be looking at it under why to teach them, what to teach, how to teach, and how to assess. So let's begin with why to teach them. If you look at the 21st century skills that have been around since 2015, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, initiative, and social skills are very much part of the 21st century skills that we want the students to graduate with so they can work in society. And you're probably already recognizing a little bit of the learning skills in there already. Remember, people are hired for their skills and fired for their interpersonal skills. So these are very important to teach to students. The other reason we want to teach it is emotional intelligence. How we make people feel when we are learning is so important, and how they feel when they're learning. And so looking at emotional intelligence, there's 15 subscales: happiness, flexibility, impulse control, problem solving, self-actualization, social responsibility, and again, you're seeing learning skills in those. Also, there's an article about emotional intelligence, which basically says developing strong people skills. So what to teach? Ever since 1997, we have had on the report cards, elementary at the beginning of the report card, secondary at the end of the report card, the 6 learning skills that we need to report on. They're in growing success as well. They're independent work, showing initiative, collaboration, organization, and responsibility and self-regulation are the 6. And in growing success, you will find them as well, defined under what we're supposed to be marking, and it's usually marked with N for needs improvement, S for satisfactory, G for good, and E for excellent. So we need to assess them. Before we can assess, we have to decide how we're going to be teaching them. So there's a thinking process that goes into how we're looking at the learning skills. And the thinking process has 2 steps. One is begin breaking down the learning skills. The rubrics I've shown you are, this is K to 12 or 1 to 12, K to 12, and this is the junior. And you can see the junior is more in success criteria. Breaking down the learning skill of an independent work to show them exactly what does it look like, what does it sound like, will really help the students know what they're learning. Then you want to observe your class to see what learning skills are they doing really well, and what do they need to work on as a class. And that's when you can break it down and decide on the learning skill that you're teaching. So how to teach them? There's 3 strategies. One is teaching interpersonal skills. And the interpersonal skills can be anything that you break down. So for instance, the big idea might be initiative, and maybe it's beginning a task, because you've got students who just don't know how to begin them. I like the double T chart. We teach it at the board, say, what does it look like? And it might be my pencil starting, or my paper starting, or I'm reading. What does it sound like? It's usually quiet, or talking to a friend to find out what am I supposed to be doing, or reading instructions. What does it feel like? And that's where you really want to get to the emotional intelligence. It feels like you're active. It feels like you're engaged. So those are what you put down under what does it look like. So that might be how you break down that task. Remember, the reason I did the double cheat chart is how it makes people feel, and how we make people make us feel that counts. So we have to put that feeling part in the T-chart. And the resources I've given you give you all sorts of ideas of how to teach interpersonal skills. Ask for clarification, ignore distractions, all those kind of things that even fit under self-regulation. The second strategy is modeling. And it's another way of teaching it. Describe what you will model and why you're modeling it. Model it while students notice and they observe. Give students collaboration time and time to practice it, and then reinforce their practice with immediate feedback. And there's literature on that as well. What is interactive modeling? The third way of teaching it is steps for teaching social skills. And again, it almost is a combination of many of those things. Target the skill you're teaching. Tell the students the skills they're going to be learning. Discuss the value of it. Describe to students on what the skill would look like and sound like, and as we said, feel like. Program activities around it. So if you're doing cooperative grouping or collaboration, then if they're going to collaborate, teach the skill before they start to collaborate. Tell them you're going to be listening for it as you walk around, and then debrief it at the end of their collaboration on how well they did that. Role playing works really well. Practicing, coaching students, asking parents for support at home. I know parents will be very thankful for you teaching the students how to collaborate or self-regulate. And then review successes, and then you reteach it if it needs it, or you start on to the next one. So there's many ways to, and they have a lot of literature there to show you how to do that. So then we want to look at how to assess. And I've given 3 resources on how to assess. One is the Toronto District School Board's expected practice series, and it talks about how the learning skills are taught all the way from 1 to 12. And the second one is in growing success. They taught you how to assess, and again, we talked about it needs improvement, satisfactory, good, and excellent. And then the third way is, as I said at the very beginning, take the learning skill rubrics and use those and adapt them to your class. Having the students have input into co-creating them so they understand what they are. I hope this is helpful. Thank you.